Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Run and Code, humor in South Texas law enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. With me, and my partner, always got my back, J-Man. J-Man, how you doing?
Doing real good.
Yeah?
Yep,
Well, this is our 50th episode.
it is.
You believe that shit? Wow. It only feels like yesterday that we started this.
I know, right?
The first several were rough. Getting better. And if you want to email us and tell us what a great job we're doing or what we can improve on or what you'd like to see, you can email us at my goodness. You can email us. I'm running on all cylinders today. You can email us at runandcode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Feel free to email us questions, comments, concerns, nasty comments, great comments, shitty comments, whatever.
Yep.
If we don't answer you, it's because you said something ignorant that doesn't even deserve to be talked about. If you have a genuine question or you have a genuine gripe or we got something wrong, well, tell us.
Yeah.
We're not above saying, okay, we got that wrong. We'll do our research and go, okay, we were wrong. We're human. It happens. But I'm excited because today's our 50th. And I honestly never thought this was going to get past 10 or 15 before you and I either burned out or got fired or we got banned off YouTube or... We were going to say something that someone didn't like because they talked about guns, because they're supposed to say pew pew and all this stupid asinine shit. So we can talk about people chopping their willies off, but don't mention the word gun. It's like, this is ridiculous. So, and on that topic of free speech, today we're going to talk about the United States Constitution, one of the greatest documents ever written.
Yeah.
And I think it defines us as a country of who we are. And I think a lot of us have forgotten the Constitution. People always say, I know my rights. But do you really? Have you actually read the Constitution? I know you have, and I have,
Yeah.
and every officer should have read. Hell, any military member should have read it too, because that's what you're defending when you raise the oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, law enforcement, we are sworn to obey the laws of the United States and the laws of the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You should know what the hell it is you're defending. You should know what the hell it is you're holding. And so today's episode is going to be the Constitution. And some of you are like, oh, that's not funny. Okay, today's is not meant to be funny. Today's isn't. Today's going to be more educational. We're going to go through the preamble, the articles, the first 10 amendments plus the 14th, because those are the most important and crucial ones. And we're going to break them down, what each one means. And that's what we're going to do today. And, if this is boring you, I'm sorry. We're not trying to bore you, but it is good information. It's information you should have. And it's information that if you're a cop, you should already know. As a citizen, you should know. It's your business. It's your right. It's your duty to know the Constitution. You want to live under his protections and his laws, and learn what it is. Now, the Constitution was designed to limit the powers of the government, not the people. Your state laws limit the power of the people, tell you what you can and cannot do. But the Constitution limits the powers of the government. Says that we, and we're government agents. We are as cops. We're government agents. We're the arm of the government. It limits our power, what we can do, what we cannot do. So you get these short, amendments. But then the Supreme Court has all the rulings under each one. Yeah. What does freedom of speech really mean? What does freedom from unreasonable search and seizure mean? This is what the Supreme Court is there to do, is interpret that, what it means, how it meant in the framers' intent of the Constitution, because the men who wrote the Constitution were brilliant. Mm-hmm. They were brilliant. They knew, having just come under a monarchy, that they were not going to go back to a monarchy. They were not going to have a fascist form of government, which for those that don't know what fascist means a form of government ran by the military. Nazi Germany was a fascist government. Italy in World War II was a fascist government. It was ran by Benito Mussolini, who was a fascist. We didn't want that. No, it needs to be civilian, elected civilians, and the military serves the elected civilians.
Yeah.
But the lessons we learned out of the Nuremberg trials, for those that don't know what the Nuremberg trials are, is those are the war crimes trials for all the Nazi war criminals that gassed and killed and tortured and mutilated 7 million Jews and 7 million other people, homosexuals, twins, just all the sick shit they did. The Nuremberg trials were holding the people accountable who did that, and their answer, I was ordered to do that. Or I didn't know how my orders could be misconstrued. That's not what we meant. Basically, it boiled down to, you will not follow illegal orders, and that has followed us ever since. You do not follow illegal orders. They're illegal, you don't follow them. End of story. You have a duty to say, no, sorry, that's an illegal order, I'm not following it. And that's for military, and that's for law enforcement. We don't follow illegal orders. We cannot use the excuse, I was ordered to do that. Nope, we can't. So today we're gonna talk about the Constitution. I'm gonna read off some articles that are important that you should know as a citizen. I'm gonna read off all the Bill of Rights. Well, not all of them. The first 10 and the 14th. There's so many, but we're going to read the ones that are actually most important to you as a citizen and what you should know. Obviously, the first, the second, the third really don't matter because nobody's quartering soldiers in your house in time of war. But the first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, very important.
Oh, yeah.
And the 14th.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important. Third, like I said, not super. You're like, okay, yeah, we're not really quartering soldiers in time of war in your house anymore. But that was back in the days when you were forced to give up your home to quarter soldiers in it.
Hey, everybody got to share those mushy peas.
That's right. That's
mushy
right.
peas
That's
and those
right.
beans on toast.
So what's not going to happen? Yeah, you were not housing no damn redcoats in your house no
I
more.
get a bad meal. You get a bad meal.
That's right. But we wanted to make sure that no one could ever be forced to give up their home to a soldier ever again. That was not going to happen.
Yeah.
So these men had grown up, that the framers of the Constitution had grown up under, monarchy and despotism, and they were not going to live under that anymore. And they wanted to set very strict rules about how senators are elected, congressmen, how the president, vice president, who's in charge of what, the checks and balances that keep this country from you got three branches. You got legislative, executive, and judicial branches of the government, and they're all checks and balances for each other. That way no one person has total authority.
Yeah.
It's done that way to keep people from making their own decisions, and you can't stop it. Bullshit, you can't. The Senate and Congress can override a president. Yes, they can. Mm-hmm. It's done that way. Now, there are certain times the president can do a presidential order and force something through, but Congress and Senate can make enough noise to maybe put a stop to it if it's that bad. There are certain authorities that the president does have that is imbued in him, like the release of nuclear weapons. That is his sole, that's his job. If it ever comes down to it, that's his job.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we have the checks and balances to keep anyone from taking their office a little too seriously. Because as we've all heard, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's why we don't let anyone have absolute power. Because it corrupts. It always has. It always will. It'll corrupt. Mother Teresa would have corrupted. Absolute power always does and always will. You may hold off for a while because you're a good moral person, but eventually you're going to bow to the pressure of absolute and total control. Yep. And you're going to abuse that. So law enforcement, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's why we don't have powers. We have authority.
Yeah.
And this is what people, you got power. No, I don't have any power. What I have is the authority granted me to be the state of Texas and the commission of my agency to enforce the law. That's what I have. I don't have any power. I have powers of arrest.
Yeah.
If you mean powers, I have those, but I don't have power. I am not elected. I am not appointed. I am commissioned. And I must follow the laws of my state of Texas, and I must follow the policy of my agency, and I must follow the Constitution of the U.S. and the Constitution of the state of Texas. That's it. Those are my guidelines.
Yep.
I don't have any power, but I have authority to enforce the laws. And that's what a lot of officers, they forget. That badge weighs 10 pounds to drop it on people's feet. You have the authority imbued you by the agency that commissions you and the state of Texas. But nothing gives you power. So, in fact, the Constitution restricts your power for that very reason, to be damn sure it does not get abused.
Right.
Because can you imagine what kind of place this would be if we didn't have any restrictions on our authority? We could do whatever the hell we want and make up whatever law we want. Go to Mexico. You'll see it. I've dealt with Mexican police. Let me tell you something. They make up whatever laws they feel like that fucking day. And the further south you go, the further worse it gets. Guatemala, Bolivia, Peru, Chile. I mean, they just do whatever the hell they want to. Or Middle East. Or Asia. The first world country is not really a problem. Like British cops, they do their job. German cops do their job. Austrian, Switzerland, Sweden, Belgium, Ireland, Scotland, Canada. Yeah. They're strict and their cops are strict. But you get East Bloc or you get South America or Asia, they do whatever the hell they fucking want because they don't have anybody that's going to tell them no.
Yeah.
And if a citizen dares tell them no, they might get smacked, and that might hopefully be the only thing that happens to them. But some countries, they beat your ass for they ask the first question just to get you in the frame of mind of answering questions when we ask to avoid a further beating. So when people are talking shit and say, American cops are corrupt and they're vicious and they're brutal, you've clearly not traveled the world that much. Because here we are like a burlesque show compared to some of those other countries.
A burlesque show.
We are. I've been to Russia, and I can tell you what the cops are like there. They play no games. Okay, they will beat your ass to a pulp and not get in one bit of trouble for it at all. You don't have rights. You have whatever rights that officer gives you, and that's it. That's the rights you got. So this Constitution is what gave us the very necessary leash. Mm-hmm. You will not do this. You will not do that. People are free from unreasonable search and seizure. They're free from self-incrimination. they're free from cruel and unusual punishment. And all these things were designed because they've been through them all.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we're going to have limits for the government. So that's what we're going to do today. And that's what we're going to talk about. The Constitution of the United States. And why it is so damn important for every officer to know this information. And every citizen should know this. Now, you're going to have these ding-dongs out there like sovereign citizens and shit like that. Okay, you know what? You can't even talk to them and don't even try. All right? They're beholden to the laws of their state. That's it. Whether they like it or not, they're beholden to the laws of the state they're in. They don't like it? Oh, well, tough shit. Move to another country. Okay?
Yeah.
For all those people that said, oh, if Trump wins, I'm moving to another country. Still wait for them to go. No one's leaving. Gee, I wonder why. Because maybe it's not as bad as they think. You know, this whole, on a tangent note, if he gets rid of income taxes, hallelujah, praise the Lord, and pass the ammunition. Please get rid of all income tax. I don't mind doing the tariffs and crap because, one, it'll force those countries to move their shit back here to the U.S. You don't want to pay those tariffs? Move it back here and give jobs to Americans then.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of farming it out to countries that are cheaper, move it back here. We need to stop worrying about other countries' welfare. We need to start worrying about our own. I am tired of pissing away money into other countries that would never help us out in a million fucking years. Haiti? I got no particular problem with Haiti. I don't got no issues with Haiti. But every time they have a hurricane or something bad happens in Haiti, instead of asking the Dominican Republic next door for help, they ask the U.S. and we send trillions to Haiti. Why? It's not our business or our problem. I hate to be cold-hearted, but if you don't look out for you, it's like the lifeguard concept. I can't help you if you hurt me. So I'm trying to save a drowning victim, and they're going to drown me. I have to let them go because I can't save them if you drown me.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing. If we're helping all these other countries to the cost of ourselves, it drowns us. How do we help anybody? It's time to stop being the world fucking police and start bringing the money back to us, start bringing the resources back to us until other countries take a hike. We have precisely two actual allies in this world we could actually count on. Britain and Israel. Those are about the only two allies we actually could count on right now. And that's about it. 214 sovereign countries, some shit like that in the world. There's like two that would actually have our back. The rest of them can go take a flying fuck at a rolling donut for all I care. Okay? Immigration. I'm not going to pound that one too hard. I don't have a problem with immigration. I have a problem with illegal immigration. If you come here, do it right, get a job, welcome to America. Absolutely. That's why I have a process, and you're welcome to be here. But you're coming illegally. We don't know who you are. We don't know what your criminal record is. We don't know how you plan to feed your family. You think I want my tax dollars paying for your family? I can barely pay for my own. You want me to pay for yours? Negative. Come here, show that you have a job already lined up, that you're going to pay your own bills, and then welcome to America. Come on in. No beef. And people that say, oh, Republicans are racist. They don't want illegal immigrants here. What's the first word there? Illegal. Illegal. They're breaking the law just by being here because no other country can you just hop the fucking border and be okay.
No, you can't.
No.
No.
So I want to read you something before we start, and this is actually going to tie into what I'm talking about later. I want to read you the immigration laws for Mexico. You might be surprised at these. These are the actual immigration laws to immigrate to Mexico. You'll have no bilingual programs in schools. No, you learn Spanish or fuck off. That's it. All ballots will be in this nation's language. They will not have English ballots. They'll be in Spanish. That is the language of the nation. All government businesses will be conducted in our language. No shit, what a great idea. Having to order my food in Spanish just ticks me off sometimes. Non-residents will not have the right to vote no matter how long they are there. Period.
Damn, not even like.
Nope. Non-citizens will never be able to hold political office.
Never?
Period.
Never?
Nope. Foreigners will not be a burden to taxpayers. This is Mexico's immigration laws.
Will not be.
Foreigners will not be a burden to taxpayers. No welfare, no food stamps, no health care or other government assistance programs. Any burden will be deported. What a concept. But if we do it, we're the bad guys. Foreigners can invest in this country, but it must be in an amount at least equal to 40,000 times the daily minimum wage.
What?
That's no shit, dude. If foreigners come here and buy land, they can buy land, but there are restrictions. Options will be restricted. Certain parcels, including waterfront property, are reserved for citizens naturally born in Mexico.
Makes sense.
All right.
Why should you jump the line?
This one's my favorite. Foreigners may have no protests, no demonstrations, no waving of a foreign flag, no political organizing, no bad-mouthing our president or his policies. This will lead to deportation. What a phenomenal fucking idea. If you're going to live in another country, you better not be waving a foreign flag. If you do come to this country illegally, you'll be actively hunted. When caught, you'll be sent to jail until you're deported. All your assets will be seized. So why is it that the country to our south can have these strict immigration laws and we can't?
We're the land of opportunity.
That's great. The opportunity is you go to your local office, start the visa paperwork to become a citizen. Japan allows no fucking immigration. Poland allows no immigration, period. And they don't have problems. They don't have terrorism problems, nothing. They don't allow it, period. End of story. They're in their mind, stay where you're born. Now, like I said earlier, and I don't want this misconstrued, I don't have a problem with legal immigration at all. I don't care where you come from. This is the land of opportunity. You're welcome here, but do it right. Show me who you are. Make sure you're not a criminal on the run. You're going to have a job, provide for your family, so I don't have to provide for your family, and then welcome to America. That's what makes this country great. You could be nothing to something, or something to nothing too, just as fast.
Yeah.
The opportunities are here. It's up to you to take them. But all these reports you're getting from Border Patrol of people coming over the border that are from countries that we consider terrorist countries, and they're all on terrorist watch lists.
They're natural enemies of the United States.
Yeah. So why are we just allowing them? Why are these people so ignorant that they think it's okay to just let anybody in they want to and then hope for the fucking best? What is it? 14 out of the 19 9/11 hijackers came over the southern border illegally? Something like that. They came over the Mexican border. They're called OTMs, other than Mexicans. That's what the Border Patrol calls them, OTMs, other than Mexicans. There may be another name now that's a little less inflammatory, but it's still the same thing. They're not from Mexico. They're from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, whatever. They ain't from here. They ain't from Mexico. Now, the majority of people coming over from Mexico don't mean us no harm. They don't mean us to hurt us. They're here to work and make a living, and that's great. Problem is, we're paying for their family's welfare. We're paying for their family's health care. They're paying for their family's education. No, I have a problem with that. My grandfather and my dad grew up in the days where if you were able to work and you didn't on purpose to get welfare, that was shameful. Like, you were a piece of shit. You were shunned because you're capable of working and you just choose not to work. Now it's a badge of honor. They know how to game the system, play the system, and now that Trump's starting to get rid of all this shit, people are, oh my God, I'm going to have to work. Yeah, you're going to have to work. Just because you had kids, you think you're entitled to shit? Keep your legs closed. Take it up the butt. I don't care, but I'm tired of paying your bills.
Oh, man.
Like mama should have told you, ladies, if you don't want a gut, take it in the butt.
Yeah, we should probably turn the wheel right back to where it's supposed to go.
All right.
We're on 35 heading somewhere. We didn't know we were going.
But I felt I had to get that off my chest. But I don't want anything I said misconstrued. I don't have a problem with legal immigration. So I just want that really clear because I don't need all of a sudden to get canceled. Oh my God. Oh, grow up. So the Constitution of the United States. Now, I'm not going to read every article. There's just too many of them. I'm going to read the ones that are important to us as cops, the ones that should be important to you as citizens. Mm-hmm. But everybody should read the entire Constitution at least once in its entirety to see what the rules are, who can do what, who's allowed to do it, what you can and can't do. You should know that. This is the document that allows you to be a free citizen. You should know exactly what powers it gives you and what authority it gives, the government and what, And I'm going to explain why these things are written the way they were written, in the order they were written, for a very good reason. Like I said, geniuses that wrote this document. But everyone should know the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Well, let's break that down. So we, the people of the United States, that's citizens.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to form a more perfect union. So that's the original 13 states, and then they grew from there, obviously. Establish justice. So laws.
Yeah.
We become a nation of laws. We're not just going to have anarchy where you decide what the hell you're going to do. We're going to have laws. Ensure domestic tranquility, peace and harmony. Provide for the common defense, militia. Yep. And then eventually an actual military.
Yeah.
To promote general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. So now and forever. Mm-hmm. This document is forever. This has a 200-year lock, and after that, good luck. Come up with another one. And there are people that would love to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And you would see a big change, and all of a sudden, a lot of law-abiding people become criminals overnight because of what they would ban.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your articles and your sections. So, like Section 1, Article 1, Section 1, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives.
Yep.
So those are your elected officials that you elected to put forth laws and vote on laws and should listen to the voice of the people that elected them.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. That's why we don't have absolute power in just one person. That's like the president. That's it. And all laws go through him. No, it's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Laws are enacted by legislatures. I'm having one of those days. Legislative representatives.
There you go.
And they put forward the laws. And they talk about it. And they decide this is a good law. We like this law. We don't like this law. Now, there's federal and there's state. And they are two separate things. Because each state has their own laws. Each state has their own legislative authority. They have their own Senate.
Mm-hmm.
For a good reason. But by and large, most state laws, for the most part, mirror federal laws too.
Yeah.
For the most part. But there's a few differences. Minute, but they're there.
Yeah.
Like marijuana is legal in California, Colorado, Montana, but it's not legal federally.
Yes.
But those states have said it's illegal in this state.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can hop on a plane with marijuana, which is federally controlled, and fly to another state with it. You can't. Because that's federally controlled. So there's federal laws, there's state laws. So you got local, you got city ordinances.
Yep.
Then you got your county ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your state laws. Then you got your federal laws.
Mm-hmm.
But they usually all pretty mirror each other for the most part. Like the Constitution of the state of Texas is really damn similar to the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
There's not a huge difference between the two. But I want to go over the Bill of Rights, the amendments. Those are absolutely important to know and break them down and actually know what this means. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean, T-Bone? We're going to explain that. So we're going to, first 10 amendments and then the 14th, and we're going to break these down.
Yeah.
Amendment 1, which was enacted in 1791. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It's a lot of verbiage.
Yeah.
What does it mean? So, no law respecting an establishment of religion. There will not be one religion for this whole country.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have whatever you want. You can have 10,000 different religions here. That's great about this country. Some countries, that's the country's religion. Like Rome, it's pretty much Catholic.
Roman, yeah. Oh, Catholicism.
Or Italy is pretty much Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there probably Greek Orthodox here and there? Oh, probably. By and large, that's a Catholic country. Okay, but look at the Vatican right there, and it's considered its own nation.
Yeah.
Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So they can't tell you cannot worship whoever the hell you want to. You want to worship Satan, worship Satan. You want to worship Odin, worship Odin. That's what's great about this country. I don't even have a real problem with Muslims. I really don't. Even though I fought in Iraq 4 tours, I don't have a problem with Muslims because that'd be hypocritical of me. That's the oath I took to protect that right. Okay. Do I want to personally be a Muslim and believe in Islam? No, but that's my personal belief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not Pentecostal. I'm Methodist. If I had to choose one, I'm a Methodist. That's what I was born and raised into, but I'm more agnostic.
Mm.
Like, I don't believe in any one. Be a good person. How's that? How about we just try being a good person? Like, why don't we try that? Or prohibiting, abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. So freedom of speech. You can say what you want, but there has to be limits to that.
Yeah,
you can't go into a crowded theater and scream fire, and then people get hurt trying to get the hell out of the theater because they get trampled. So freedom of speech does not mean you can say whatever you want. It's within reason. Now, you can get up on a podium and say, I hate the United States. Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
You have the right to badmouth the very government that protects you with these freedoms that men have died for. You do you, boo. But don't ask for help later. Oh, they will. Freedom of the press. A free press is absolutely crucial to this country. It really is. Now, it's been abused. Reporters have gone way too far. And, they purposely report a story they know is bullshit because they just get the ratings and they don't come back later. But a free press does keep a good checks and balances on the government because somebody's watching.
Isn't that what Mussolini did when he first got into power?
He strangled the free press.
Yeah, any type of press that were pretty much anti him, he got rid of completely.
Yep. So basically, you report only the things he wanted you to hear, and that was it. Everything else, you don't toe the line, you get shot.
Yeah,
it was that simple. Freedom of peaceful assembly. Now, let's be really clear what a peaceful assembly is. A riot is not a peaceful assembly. The Million Man March was peaceful.
Yeah.
Because Martin Luther King knew. Martin Luther King, brilliant man, knew violence would you will not listen to people who are being violent. They flat out, if you're violent, they stop listening to you. So Martin Luther King told everybody, don't get violent. We want them to hear us. We don't want them to, worry about violence. We want them to listen to what we're saying. So that's why he said, stay calm. No matter what, stay calm. Do not get violent. That's peaceful assembly. And by God, you're welcome to it. It's when you start breaking shit or rioting or destroying shit, that's no longer peaceful assembly. That's not protected now because you're destroying property. You're hurting people. Mm-hmm. If you want to peacefully assemble, my God, go for it. And we'll stand there as cops and we'll defend your right to do it. If the Ku Klux Klan wants to march down the street and have a peaceful assembly, they are legally protected to do that. I may think their message is disgusting and I may think they're disgusting, but that is their right. Just like if the Black Panthers decide to start marching down the damn street and doing it, we have to protect the exact same thing because they have the same exact rights. Now let's just hope those two don't do it together on the same street. And then we're going to have one hell of a riot.
Yeah.
But they have the right. You have the right to peacefully assemble. And then petition the government for redress of grievance. Sue the government. If you think you've been wronged by the government, you have the right to sue the government and say, this is why I think you wronged me. You have the right to do that. I'm not saying you're going to win, but you have the right to do it.
There's some countries you can't even dream.
You can't, You're not walking down to Senate and go, hey, I don't agree with what you did. They'll probably never see you again. You're just going to disappear.
Yeah.
Now,
some re-education camp.
Yeah, like North Korea. If they don't outright kill you, you might get lucky and get sent to a re-education camp, where China does that too.
Yeah.
So that's the First Amendment. Now, if you look at the order of these, it was genius the order they were put in. So the first one was freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of peaceful assembly, right to redress. That's very important. All those are important. But what protects number one?
Number two
protects number one. Because it's amazing how people won't listen to you when they know you can fight back.
Yeah.
So, now, there's been so much controversy what they meant by this.
Yeah.
To me, it reads like English. I don't know what the problem is. A well-regulated militia, and militia means civilians, not active duty military, it means civilians. That's what militia means. Being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Incredibly important. Now, I don't know a single cop that says nobody should have a gun. I don't know any cop that thinks that. We think everybody should have a gun. As long as you're not a prohibited possessor or a felon, you go right ahead and have a gun. It makes it a polite society, and you can defend yourself when we can't be there to do it. But the purpose of firearms is to keep the government from coming and taking whatever they want from you. And that was the purpose of everybody should have guns. Mm-hmm. It protects number one, and it protects you from the government who wants to be overzealous. Because it's hard to go house to house when you're being shot at by everybody. So that was the purpose of everybody shall have a gun. Everybody shall have guns. And that has not been changed, nor will it be changed. In fact, I think the ATF is unconstitutional as hell with all their fucking rules. The states already have laws concerning guns, and the feds already had laws concerning guns. Mm-hmm. The Lautenberg Act, if you're convicted of domestic violence, you don't get to carry a gun anymore. Common sense, because you clearly can't control your temper.
Yeah.
Okay. Most states, as a felon, you can never have your gun back. Now, some states, like Texas, you can get a gun back 5 years after the end of your sentence or probation or parole. You may have a gun back, but only at home. You can't carry it with you. Yeah. But Texas recognizes you still need to have the right to protect yourself in your own home. So they've allowed felons to have guns back, but only after a certain period. So
I think in California, you can't even be a drug addict and have a firearm.
No. In fact, if you're a felon in California, you never get a gun back. Can't buy them. Mm-hmm. Nothing, period. Can't possess them or buy them, period. Forever. There's no limit that you can't have them, period. If you're mentally deficient, you may never get your guns back, even if a psychiatrist says you're good to go. They may say, sorry, you're not getting it back, which I think is horseshit. It's a violation of your rights. If a psychiatrist said, he's fine.
Yeah.
What right do you have to keep my fucking property? Mm-hmm. Unless you want to pay me for it. If you're going to keep them, you guys pay me for it. Now let's go out and buy more. I'll move to another state,
Yeah.
Whatever. But the right to keep and bear arms is so vital to the security of this country, not only for internal government security, but for external. Because I don't remember which Japanese admiral said this in World War II, but he said, we cannot invade America. There's a rifle behind every blade of grass. There's enough hunters that are going to make our guys miserable trying to get up on that beach. There's going to be, got another one, Jed. He knew. That's a bad idea. Because the whole country is armed. Most countries are not armed.
That's true.
Most of them are not armed. They don't allow citizens to have guns. And if they do, they got to be locked up at your local police station. Like Britain, if you want to take your shotgun out dove hunting, you have to call the local constabulary, Tell them where you're going with it, what time you're leaving, what time you'll be back, and you best be fucking back with that shotgun.
You best be back.
Yeah.
You can't even have
You can't have a
registered BB gun.
You can't have a pocket knife.
UK.
You can't carry pocket knives.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't.
Like US, we carry fucking Bowie knives. You get caught with a pocket knife, you're actually going to jail. A blade this long, going to jail. I'm like,
that's why you hear like the UK rappers, they're talking about chinging people.
Yeah.
Or they
stabbing people.
They chef them.
Because they ain't shooting
They
them.
get stabbed. They get, yeah. All day.
Yeah, so.
Hey, throw that away, man.
Yeah. So even a lot of the cops don't carry, although some are starting to more as terrorism just got worse and worse. They started arming some of their cops, but that's more your special units or certain areas where high terrorism targets.
Well, because UK has an auxiliary police, right, where they're completely unarmed for like to handle like community nuisance problems, like neighborhood disputes or like very minor things where
Maybe.
armed response is not showing up.
Well, maybe.
I think
They probably do.
I know they have two types. They have an auxiliary, and then they have their uniformed armed response.
Well,
I think there was a story where a guy had like a sword on a bus, and they ain't gonna send the unarmed guys for a sword on the bus. They sent the armed guys. I think that dude got shot.
Oh, and that officer, known as Britain, probably went through hell.
Yeah,
because it's Britain. I mean, I love our British allies, but you know, violence is going to exist anywhere. Crime is going to exist anywhere, whether you have guns or not. Crime is always going to exist. This whole argument of all these people are dying from guns. Okay, people die from cars, malpractice, drug overdoses, you name it. Being hit with a hammer, stabbed. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. The gun is the tool. If they want to kill you bad enough, they'll get a hammer. They'll run you over with a car. They'll find another fucking way they want to kill you that bad. So don't give me this hooey about guns cause death. No, guns don't cause death. People cause death. So yeah, the right to bear arms. Absolutely. That's why I don't agree with the ATF. The whole rules of it's got to be 16-inch barrel or 18-inch on a shotgun, or it can't fire more than 2 or 1 round on a single pull of a trigger. Or it can't have a suppressor. Man, fuck you, ATF. That's horseshit bullshit rules. And I have a lot of ATF agents that don't agree with a lot of these rules either. But the ATF was not legally allowed to make those rules. They were not allowed to make those rules, and they did it anyway and said, now these are laws. Now we just turn people into felons. This is bullshit rules. The ATF, they're talking about overturning the ATF and the NFA. Well, please fucking do get rid of the NFA. Because then I'll be at the gun store going, I want that short barrel M4, 3-round burst mode, and a suppressor, please. Because why not? I'm American. I don't have to have a reason. I'm an American. I want one. That's what's great about this country. I don't have to have a reason to have a gun. I'm an American. I want one. It's my right to own one. Now, if you lose, do I think all felons should be banned from guns? No. I think if you're convicted of like check fraud, it's not a violent crime. I'm not too worried about you running wild with a fucking gun. Okay, but any crime of violence, narcotics, yeah, you probably shouldn't have a gun. But like with check fraud, come on.
Like the feds have a thing for like the Armed Career Criminal Act or something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be like your assholes using guns to commit violent crimes.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you got check fraud, you bounced a $5,000 fraudulent check, I don't think you should be barred from guns because that's not a violent crime. It has anything fucking at all to do with violence. Okay, it's white collar crime and there's blue collar crime. Okay, like come on, like that was a bit of an overreach, I think, but it's a slippery slope too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that the government should absolutely have limited authority. Absolutely. Third Amendment. Now, this one hasn't applied in 200-something years, so not really a concern. Yeah.
The quarter an
No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. So, basically, you can't be forced to house soldiers, period. It's your house, your property, negative. Sorry. Fuck off. Get out of my house.
Could you imagine, like, I guess if that was still in play, like, you'd just be forced to have some unruly 18-year-old in your house?
Yeah. Yeah. A squad of Marines taking your fucking house over. Fuck that. Your daughter will be pregnant. Your dog will be pregnant. Your fucking food will be gone. Everything you own will be destroyed.
Like, please give me the Air Force. Please give me the Airmen, the Airmen, the Airmen.
We are a little more refined. And if you believe that, you never hung around an Air Force dormitory on Saturday night.
They'd have to section off, like, quarter zone, like, certain residentials, like, this is the Marine zone, this is the Army zone,
yeah.
And then the Air Force zone way in the back.
Way in the back. The nice area. Now,
in the Navy somewhere.
This is one of the most important ones for law enforcement right here, is the Fourth Amendment. Because that governs use of force, arrest, search, all that. And there are so many case laws just from the Fourth Amendment alone. There's probably like that many from the Third Amendment. There's that many for the Fourth Amendment. So the right of the people to be secure in their persons, papers, houses, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. And it is amazing because I write search warrants all the time and arrest warrants all the time. And everything I'm reading here, I have to do every single time I write a warrant. Mm-hmm. Probable cause, based upon oath, and be very particular about what I want.
Yep.
And that's still just from 1791 to now, and it's the same shit. Nothing has changed. I can't go on fishing expeditions. I have to know exactly what the hell I'm looking for and why I want it and why I believe it's there. Arrest warrants, same reason. I have to put down on paper why I believe this person committed the crime and I want them taken into custody.
Yep.
So, persons, houses, papers, and effects. Papers. Now, this is considered papers. Yeah. I can't just go into it. I need a warrant to go into your phone or consent. One of the two.
Yep.
So the way, and a little bit of a tangent, but people understand this. I can't just take your phone and start going through it unless it's an exigent circumstance, and I better be able to describe exactly what that means. Like, kidnapped child was just kidnapped, and I know the evidence is on your phone. I don't give a shit. I'm going to go through it right now. But that wasn't like kidnapped child a week ago, and I'm going to go through your phone. That's not exigent.
Yeah.
So exigent means an emergency. I can articulate right now in court exactly why I did what I did right here, right now, and I might be okay because I can justify what I did. I did not do anything to intentionally violate your rights. To save a life, we may have to go through shit sometimes, but that's exigent. Mm-hmm. That's an immediate necessary need to save a life now.
Right.
Other than that, I got to get a warrant. So if I come to you, you're in trouble, and I've got you in an interview, because we don't say interrogation anymore because we're kinder, softer now. We don't say interrogation, we say interview. It's the same shit. Nothing's changed. But if I say, hey, look, will you give me consent to go through your phone? Man, fuck you. Okay. I believe there's evidence on your phone of this crime we're talking about, and I'm going to get a warrant, and I'm going to go through your phone. Now, how fast do you want your phone back? If you give me this 6-digit or 4-digit passcode to your phone, you'll get your phone back in a day or two. I'm not going to go through without the warrant anyway, but we don't have to crack your phone and brute force it, and we'll get your phone back in 2 or 3 days versus 6 or 7 weeks. So which one do you want? Fuck you. Okay. Write up a warrant, go to the judge and say, this is exactly why I believe that the evidence to that crime I'm investigating is on this phone. Judge signs it, I take it, get it filed, and then I take the phone to electronics crimes and they tear it apart and they get all that data off. Here's the thing. You're going to fuck yourself faster doing that, because if you just let me see what I wanted to see, now I can see everything in your fucking phone. So if you had evidence of other crimes on your phone, well, those are fair game now because I had a warrant to go through your phone. So now everything on your phone is now fair game to me.
Yep.
Every text message, every picture, Instagram message, text message, everything is now fair game. If you'd let me see what I was looking for, because you're already going to get caught. You're busted anyway. If I have enough to arrest you, I got another probable cause to go through your phone. It's that simple. You probably should just let me see what I wanted to see and just hang your head on that. Because I've had people that, all right, sir, go ahead. All right, and we'll go through it together. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. And I see it. Okay. All right, cool. I don't need to go through your whole goddamn phone now. What I needed was right there. But if I get a warrant, I'm going to go through everything on your damn phone. Everything. And the warrant gave me that right. Now, I am not going to coerce you and say, oh, come on, guy. I'm just like, okay, just so you know, here's what's going to happen now. Yeah. And I'm legally authorized to do that. That's not an unreasonable search and seizure. That is a warrant that has granted me that authority to go through that phone. Mm-hmm. So, and I had to particularly describe it. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Or the public. I'll give the public an example because you know this. Let's say we have a warrant to search your house. I show up at your door and I have a warrant. I have to give you a copy.
Yeah.
Because it says right clearly on the warrant what it is I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. And it's written out, and it's signed by the judge that I've said this is what I'm looking for. So I can't go off on a tangent. This is what I'm allowed to search, and this is what I'm looking for. And it has to be very clearly described. The way we do it on my warrants, I take a picture of the house and put it on the warrant. This is the house I want to search, Your Honor. So there's no mistake in it. This is the house I want to search. If I want to search a car, I take a picture of the car. This is the car I want to search. There's the VIN number, there's license plate, there's the car. So there's no mistaking exactly what car I'm looking for. So that's why I do my way, and I've never had a warrant overturned. because I'm very clear about what I'm looking for, why I'm looking for. I don't do fishing expeditions. I'm clear and concise. This is what I want. So let's say I believe you have a stolen vehicle in your garage. And I say, based on witness statement and victim statement and informant statement, I believe that there is a stolen vehicle, this VIN number, whatever, or it's stolen vehicle because they've also, there's 9 people going, it's stolen. We know it's stolen. He talked about having stolen it. That's enough. I can identify those people. They're credible. Mm-hmm. I throw open the garage door. There's the car. Yeah, I got a warrant. I got a sign. I throw open the garage. There's the car. Hell yeah. Oh, yep. Run the VIN. It's stolen. We yanked that car. It's ours now. We're going to give it back to the owner. But I'm not allowed to go into your house.
Right.
I found the stolen car. That's it. Game over. But let's say I am certain you're a suspect in a shooting. Now on my warrant, I'm going to say all guns, all ammunition, including spent shell casings. I want all of it. A spent casing is that big. I can tear your entire house apart now. Every nook, cranny, drawer, you name it. Wherever a bullet could be hidden. People are like, what? Why are you going in there? Because I'm allowed to. Because you could hide ammo in there. Now, anything I find in the course of that search is admissible. So if I find other shit, child pornography, illegal firearms, narcotics, all 100% admissible. Because I had every legal reason to be in that drawer. Mm-hmm. But let's say that someone said you had a stolen motorcycle in your bedroom. I can't, I can't just open your dresser drawers.
Looking for the motorcycle.
Is a motorcycle going to fit in a dresser drawer? So it's very limited. So you have to be very specific. And that's what, when that phrase right there, when it says, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized, that's what they mean by specific. And the Supreme Court has ruled, be specific, no fishing. Tell us exactly why you believe it's there and why you believe it relates to your crime and what it is you're looking for exactly. And then we'll grant it. And then you, on the stand, will have to explain that to a defense lawyer why you believed that. Yeah. Now, if you've done your job, it'll be in your probable cause affidavit, and that question will be answered itself as long as you have all the evidence to back up why you believe that. Witness statements, victim statements, shithead statements, whatever. They're on camera, written down, whatever. You have the proof. And then you're fine. Your warrant will stand all day long. But anything in that warrant is tainted. Anything you found is inadmissible. Period. It's gone. Yep. Body, gone. Drugs, gone. Gun, gone. Now, you ain't getting the drugs or the body back.
Yeah.
You might get the guns back if you're not convicted of another felony. But, yeah, it's tainted fruit of the poisonous tree because we lied or we got something wrong or we didn't tell, we left something crucial out. The defense lawyer goes, well, this is exculpatory. You didn't put that. I'm like, oh, shit. So that's why when I write warrants, I keep it brief and I say exactly what I'm looking for and why I believe it's there. Keep it simple.
Yep.
I've seen people write like 9 pages on a warrant. No, you don't need 9 fucking pages. If you can't tell a story in 5 paragraphs about why you believe evidence is on a phone or a cell carrier plan or a car, dude, go back to school, man. You should be able to tell that story in 5 fucking paragraphs. Now, when it's homicide or sexual assault of a child, you may need to be longer.
Right.
Because what you're accusing somebody of is a pretty stiff crime. Mm-hmm. But, so that's the 4th Amendment. And that one is so important because every time we handcuff you, that's a seizure.
Yep.
Every time we search your car, that's a search.
Yep.
So the courts determine, is it unreasonable or a reasonable search and seizure?
Yep.
I can't just take your papers out of your car and start going through the papers in your car. Not without consent or probable cause that there's something illegal on those papers. So when you've seen me ever search a car, you've never seen me go through their papers. There's no reason to. Yep. I don't have a consent to. And I've seen officers, they start going through the papers. I'm like, what are you going through the papers for? Does that look like a joint to you? Does that look like Coke? Stop, dude. Put the papers down. Mm-hmm. Because I know my limits.
Yeah.
So they're clearly not reading the Constitution. So 5th Amendment, another very important one for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval warfare or land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Holy shit, that's a lot. Let's break that down, because that one is really crucial that people need to understand.
Yeah.
So if I'm accusing you of a felony, because it's any felony now, it's not just capital or otherwise infamous crime, it's any felony, you have to be indicted by a grand jury.
Yeah.
It has to go to a grand jury. A prosecutor presents the evidence to a grand jury and says, what do you say, people of the grand jury? Was a crime committed? Do you have probable cause, not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, because it's a grand jury, not trial? Do you believe a crime was committed? Yes, we do, or no, we don't. If they say yes, we do, you're now indicted, and they forward an indictment. If they say no, we don't, the case is killed right there, unless they come up with more evidence. That's not double jeopardy, but I'll explain that when I get to double jeopardy. Land or naval force or the militia, that's going to be UCMJ. If you ignore an order for an officer in combat, they can execute you on the fucking spot. 100% legal. They are commissioned officers with that authority, and if you're disobeying of an order, can get their unit killed or hurt or stop the mission, they can execute you, pop, right there.
Wow.
And they won't get in trouble for it. Last time it happened was Vietnam.
Vietnam that was a different time.
But it could happen now. If it's a war and you disobey orders in combat, you can be executed on the spot. If you fall asleep on guard, you can be executed. Now, will it happen in the modern military? Probably not. But can you be? Yes, because that's a capital crime. They don't need to indict you. I walked up and caught you sleeping, and you're on the fence line. Now, it won't happen these days, but it could. And he's a commissioned officer. He won't be in trouble for it either. Now, will he be barbecued in social media? Of course, now. Like, oh my God, he was just sleeping.
I could probably see that, let's say, for the DMZ. I guess because there's no official stoppage to, there's no official, the war is over. Yep. It's just stopped.
It's a ceasefire.
It's a ceasefire.
It's been a ceasefire since 53. So anything above the 38th and 30th, or 38th parallel, 38th parallel, 37th, 38th parallel, I think. Yeah, that's just separating them. Like, you two need a timeout.
I'm pretty sure nobody on that line is doing anything stupid. Just recklessly stupid.
No.
Yeah.
Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. Okay, let me explain double jeopardy. O.J. Simpson's a prime example of that. He was found not guilty by a jury. Completely not guilty. Not a hung jury, not a mistrial. That's not double jeopardy. If you're hung trial or mistrial, that's hung jury or mistrial. That's not double jeopardy. You can be retried. He was acquitted. It's over. Mm-hmm. It's done. Even if he stood up after his guilt or innocent verdict and stood up and said, I killed them both, there would have been shit they could do about it. He was found not guilty. He was acquitted. Yeah. Now, if it's a hung jury or mistrial and he stands up and says, I killed her. Okay, that's different. That was the evidence we needed right there, and that's on record now.
Yeah.
So, but if you're found not guilty, you can't be retried unless there is an unless to this. New evidence comes to light that was not previously found and it was obtained legally.
Yeah.
Now you can be retried because you have whole new evidence that the crime was committed. Okay? But your word alone ain't going to be enough in a capital offense.
Yeah.
Can't be compelled to be a witness against yourself. Self-incrimination. We cannot make you say, yep, I did it. I'm guilty. I killed her. I stole it. I sold the drugs. Whatever. We cannot make you. That is the whole fifth, Miranda versus Arizona, Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law. No, it will be used against you in court of law. Not can, it will be used against you in court of law. I don't know why they put can. It will be absolutely used against you in court of law. You have the right to have an attorney and have him or her present during any questioning by peace officer or attorney representing the state. These are right out of the Fifth fucking Amendment. Miranda versus Arizona. Miranda got overturned on a murder conviction because he didn't know he had the right to remain silent.
Yeah, that's right.
So now we make damn sure you can't say, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. Because I read it to you on camera and you signed it stating you understood your fucking rights. So if you choose to speak to me after that, that is on you.
Could you imagine, if for people, if they didn't have the stopgap, the government could just try you and just nothing you say can help you put up any kind of defense. The government said you did it, so you did it and you're guilty. That's it.
That's it. You're not entitled to a defense. You're allowed to be there for your trial, your so-called trial. That's just so you can see the bullet coming. You know what I mean? That's about it. Anyway, so no one shall be compelled in a criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Mm-hmm. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain. So if we're going to take it, we got to compensate you for it fairly.
Yeah.
We can't just put you to death without the due process of law.
Right.
So that's why it's just because someone is convicted and given the death penalty doesn't mean they're going to march them right to the gallows and hang them immediately. There's still a due process to that too.
Yeah.
So mistakes do get made, and that's why we have those checks and balances to be damn sure that we got the right person.
Yep.
That we're not putting an innocent person to death, because that has happened before, and that's got to be a pretty shitty feeling to realize as a prosecutor that person really was innocent, and they're dead because of you. Yeah. That's got to be a pretty shitty feeling. I mean, it's Gale. Remember the Hurricane, the boxer? They did a whole movie on the Hurricane. Mm. He was wrongfully convicted of a crime he never committed. He wasn't even there. And his entire pro boxing career was gone, all that.
Yeah.
By the time he got out, he couldn't be a boxer. He was too old. That's some hoe ass shit right there. I'd be a little pissed. All right, Sixth Amendment. So, and equally important, in all criminal prosecutions, notice it doesn't say civil. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. Also important. Which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him. So you have the right to face your accusers, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Right to have a lawyer.
Yep.
Can't say no. We have to give you a lawyer. If you can't afford one, we'll give you one. Not saying it's going to be a great lawyer, but you're going to get a lawyer. So bear that in mind. You get what you pay for. So right to a speedy trial and public. Trials have to be public. We don't do justice behind closed doors. It is public. Yeah. It is fair game for anyone to watch. There are exceptions to that. When like military, like certain special forces units, guys get in trouble, they're not holding a public court martial because the nature of what they did was classified.
Yeah.
So that will not be public, but there's rules to that too. Mm-hmm. So, but a regular citizen civilian trial, public all day long. They have to allow the public to watch it. They can't bar the public. Now, you can be barred if you come in the courtroom acting stupid. The judge can tell you to get the hell out.
Yep.
You know, because you had your headphones on, you're talking on your phone while the judge is trying to talk. Judges don't like that. Just friendly tip for anybody out there. Don't come to a courtroom acting the fool.
It will be considered disorderly conduct.
Yeah, you can end up
or disrupting an official meeting or proceeding.
Held in contempt. Yeah. You get to find out what the jail is like for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be tried by an impartial jury. That's why you have voir dire or voir dire, however you want to play it. You get to pick. You have so many picks, and the prosecution has so many picks where you try to pick the fairest jury you can. Now, smart defense lawyers, let's say
I'm on jury duty, and I show up.
Yeah, well, they're going to cut you loose quick.
But that's the example.
But you're a cop.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a woman accused of stabbing her husband who's abusive. Your lawyer is going to want nothing but women who have been abused on that jury because they can sympathize with you and go, we don't believe she's guilty. Yeah. We've done the same shit. But the prosecutor is going to want all men. You know? Like, nah, hell no, she stabbed one of y'all. That's how voir dire is played. You get your picks, and that's why you ask, have you ever been the victim of a domestic violence relationship? Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah,
strike. Yeah.
That way you try to get a fair and impartial jury that can render a good decision based on facts, not emotion. Mm-hmm. It has to be where the crime shall have been committed. So in this county, if you committed the crime in this county, you get tried in this county. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, too. Change of venue. Mm-hmm. If it's a spectacular crime, it was covered extensively by the news. There ain't a person in this entire county that didn't hear about this fucking crime.
Like the Border Patrol agent who got convicted of he got convicted of sexual assault and like murdering some prostitutes. Like down, I don't know if that was, it was down by the border.
It was.
But they tried it up here.
They tried it up here. And that was actually a smart move on his lawyer's part. So, distance equals, what's I'm looking for? Basically, don't give a shit. The further you go, the less people give a shit from where the crime occurred. So, yeah, change of venue. But you have to give the judge good cause why you should change the venue. Mm-hmm. There's a caveat. In the state of Texas, pop quiz, let's see if you know this. Let's see if you actually paid attention when you read the Code of Criminal Procedure. Pop quiz. If you cannot establish which county the crime occurred, where shall the trial be held?
Is it Austin?
Austin, Texas. So if we cannot figure out where the crime actually occurred in the state, the trial will be held in Austin. Mm-hmm. That is the Travis County will take that case. So that's how that works. So you pay attention. Good man.
Oh, I try.
I'm proud of you. Indubitably. And I bet you 90% of cops don't know that in this state.
I guarantee probably not.
All right. You're allowed to know exactly the nature and the cause of the accusation. No surprises. This is what you're being accused of. And here's why we're accusing you of it. You're allowed to confront the witness is against you. You have the right to publicly face your accusers right there and look right at them in the eye while they look at you in the eye and either tell the truth or lie.
Yeah.
But you have the right to look at them. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. Like mafia trials, the witnesses were held and they were covered for a very good fucking reason. Mm-hmm. Because chances are that person's car is going to blow up the next time he tries to start it if he testifies against the wrong people.
Right.
But by and large, you have the right to face your accuser. Mm-hmm. To have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor. I had the right to find my own witness. Let's say I'm the accused. I got the right to find my own witnesses. Yeah. I can testify that I didn't do it. Hey, Johnny was with me. And I'll call Johnny in, and you're 10 there saying I did and they were there. Well, I got Johnny here says I wasn't. Now, who are you going to believe?
Yeah.
So, and they have the assistance of counsel. We will appoint you a lawyer. You can't afford one? We got you. Mm-hmm. Not going to be Matlock. It's not going to be Johnny Cochran. We'll get you a lawyer. He'll have a law degree. He or she will have a law degree. It could be from Canoe U, but you will have a law degree and a license to practice.
Canoe U.
Seventh Amendment. In suits, now this is civil lawsuit. So this is civil. In suits of common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, because back in 1791, $20 was a lot of money.
A lot of money.
The right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. So I have the right to a jury trial to address a civil redress if it's over $20. Now, $20 back then was probably the equivalent of $1,000 now. But if I feel you fucked me out of that $20, I have the right to a jury trial. We're going to discuss this, and I want that money back. You have that right.
Yeah.
But remember, civil, you cannot go to jail for civil alone. You could be found guilty of violence. It's like O.J. Simpson. Again, he was found not guilty in the criminal trial, found guilty in the wrongful death lawsuit, like real quick, and had to pay the money, but he could not go to prison for being found guilty in a wrongful death lawsuit, because that's civil.
Yeah.
So, all right. Eighth Amendment. Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So excessive bail. Let's say I'm arrested for a DWI. Hardly a reason to brag. But my bail should not be like $500,000 for a DWI. Mm-hmm. That's outrageous amount. Like, really? Okay. It should be reasonable, compensatory with the crime. So murder generally carries $500,000 to $1 million, depending on where you're at. Family violence can carry, and sadly here it's only like $1,200 to $2,000 for family violence. But it depends on the level of the crime and the severity and how many times you've been accused or convicted of it before, so on and so forth. You can't do excessive fines. You cannot give me a $5,000 ticket for speeding.
Yeah.
You can't. That doesn't match the crime.
Yep.
That's why we do have limits set in Texas law. You cannot go more than $200 for any movement violation, with the exception of a few things. School zones, construction zones, those can be trebled or doubled, not trebled, but doubled. But generally, you cannot find me more than 200 no matter how fast I was going. You just can't. Sorry. That's movement violations, not mechanical violations. And cruel and unusual punishment. We can't starve you. We can't beat you. We can't withhold medical. We can't withhold clothing, except for very rare cases like you're suicidal. Then we're going to put you in that cool suicide smock that you can't kill yourself by tearing up. Mm-hmm. We can't keep you from being sleeping. We can't waterboard you. We can't torture you. That's the Eighth Amendment. No cruel and unusual punishment. Because we're not here to punish or torture. We're here for justice. That does not get justice. That is just cruel.
Yeah.
Ninth Amendment. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. So your rights are your rights. End of story. Cannot disparage. Cannot change them.
Yep.
10th. And I love the 10th.
States' rights, right?
States' rights. The powers not delegated to the U.S. by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people, which means states can make their own laws. Mm-hmm. States can say, I want this law for this state. That's why, hence, California, marijuana is not. Marijuana is legal. Texas is not. Because Texas said no, California said yes. Well, that's fine. They have the right to make their own laws. We have the right to make our own laws.
Yep.
So that's all it says. Powers not given to the government are given to the states. Mm-hmm. Now, the states can, or the federal government can say, marijuana is illegal across the country. Okay, that's great. But the state of Texas said no, but California said yes. Washington said yes. Oregon, Montana, Colorado. They all said yes.
Right.
But if they step out of that state to another state where it's not legal, they can be arrested.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not in that state anymore.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about 11, 12, and 13. We are going to talk about 14, because 14 is another very important one. Mm-hmm. Now, to caveat this, and some people may not know, the first 10 cannot be changed. The first 10 amendments cannot be changed. They cannot be voided, edited, or changed. Ratified. That's it. Because you can change others by vote. And you can strike them down like the liquor laws. That got struck down. Or repealed is the word. Mm-hmm. But you can't fuck with 1 through 10. That's it. They're done. Leave them alone. And they were done that way for a reason. Again, the writers of the Constitution were brilliant men who realized that someone's going to try to come and fuck with this at some point. So we can't. And this is why these people that, I want to have all 1 and 3 through 10, but 2? No. You get rid of 2. No. Because you get rid of 2, you're going to lose 1, and then you're going to lose 4 through 10, or 3 through 10 real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because ain't nothing going to stop you now. I say, I got a bat. Well, he's got a gun. He wins. But if you're both holding rifles, he may think twice about coming to take your stuff.
Yeah.
So, Fourth Amendment was in 1868. So, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privilege or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction equal protection of the laws. Very important there. Hugely important. But if you read it real carefully, it says, born or naturalized U.S. citizens. So this whole we're citizens of the world is horseshit. Okay? I'm reading the 14th Amendment. I read English. I read it very well. It doesn't say anything about anybody who comes to this country is protected. Now, do we do that as a due course? We do. Yeah. We give everybody protection under due course of law.
Yeah.
But according to the 14th Amendment, we don't have to. If you're not born naturalized in the U.S., you don't fall under its protections. Sorry, but we do, just to be fair.
Yeah.
But I like the last one, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. So over here, you get equal protection under the law, period. Regardless, you get equal protection. So you can be convicted, but you can also be protected.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, convicted or accused always have more rights than the victim. Because look what you're about to take away from somebody who's convicted. Their freedom, which is, you just can't get it back. You can get money back. You can get cars back. You can get houses back. You can't get time back.
Yeah.
So they always want to be damn sure that someone did the crime before they go and take their freedom from them. And I think that is absolutely just, and it should be. It should be hard to convict. It should be. You should be damn sure you got the right fucking person. And if you're not sure, you probably shouldn't move forward until you are damn sure.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to put them through, they could lose their jobs, their families, their houses, their bank accounts, their jobs, everything, because you accused them of something. You better be real fucking sure before you do. And that is why certain crimes I don't accuse people of until I know for goddamn sure I got them. Say anything, especially sexual assault. I want to be real damn sure because that follows you forever.
Yeah.
So I could accuse you of murder, and a year from now we find the evidence they didn't do it, and nobody would give a shit. You could be at a bar going, yeah, I got accused of murder. Okay, whatever. Buy you a drink? No one cares. I was accused of sexual assault a year ago, but they dismissed the charge. Yeah, but
they always in their head is going to be like, there's
That's
probably
right.
some truth to
the
that.
The question's always going to be there.
Yeah.
That's the only crime where people are like, eh. So I am really fucking careful before I ever accuse anybody of that. I want to be damn sure I got evidence. I got something solid. I can go, okay, I can sleep at night knowing I charged this person with sexual assault.
Right.
Because I have this evidence right here. So I did this episode today. And yeah, I know it's not funny, and it wasn't designed to be funny. We weren't trying to be funny on this one.
No.
I wanted people to understand, whether they're officers of the law or citizens, what exactly the Constitution should mean to you. And it should mean everything to you, because it is what gives you the rights to live, gives you the right to protection. It protects you from an overzealous government, and that could be city, it could be local, county, state, or federal government. It gives you the protection of them. And without that piece of paper, we wouldn't be any better than any other banana republic in the world. We wouldn't.
Yeah.
We just, whatever. I have whatever rights as the cop that pulls you over to do whatever I fucking want because I feel like it. Man, no one's going to tell me no. Mm-hmm. If you've never been to a country like that, you would kiss the tarmac when you landed back here.
Or where it's illegal to take a photo, like a specific photo of a statue. North Korea. You better.
Don't take pictures of the leader. The blessed leader, I think.
Yeah, Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader, yeah. You have so many rights in this country, you have no idea just how free you really are here. You're free to make your own mistakes, but you're also free to stand on your own 2 feet too when you fuck up and be held accountable for it. Because again, the states have the right to try you. You're breaking their laws. You have the right to have a firearm that protects you from, people that want to hurt you, but also protects you from a government that's overzealous. And that's exactly the point of having firearms, was not to protect yourself from other people, to protect you from an overzealous government that may try to persecute you or take your shit. And that was a lot harder to do when everyone's armed. So that's why they're like, yeah, we're just not going to do that. So that's why they put those in the order they put them in. But number 2 protects 1 and 3 through 10. That's what number 2 does. It protects all those. But number 1 is the most precious. The freedom to say whatever you want. The freedom to worship however you want. To worship whatever God you want. To the press to say whatever they want. Now, yeah, the press, I would like to put a little leash on them sometimes because I'm like, okay, that's not what happened, and you know it. You just want to sell. You just want to get the information out there. The days of Walter Cronkite and honest reporting are long over.
Gotta get that Pulitzer, man.
You got to get that Pulitzer, and then it turns out it's a completely horseshit story that brought down the entire presidency. Because you fraudulently made there has been a very few successful lawsuits against media. Very few, but there have been a few where they outright lied and the person proved they had the information that they didn't do it. And then they got slandered all over the news and they sued and won. So generally, if the media puts something out, they have enough people to go, well, we were told this. This is what we had. We knew.
Yeah.
We didn't know about this.
Yeah.
They don't outright lie, they just twist the fuck out of it. You know what I mean? And then they don't come back later with, our bad, we lied, or retraction, hey, we got bad information. I would actually respect the news more if they came back out later and go, hey, we had bad information, we retracted, that's not what happened. But they're never going to do that because they think people won't trust them. No, they'll trust you more if you come out later and go, hey, we were wrong, it was our bad, this is what actually happened. I would trust that. I would trust you had the integrity to tell me you screwed that up. Yeah. But when, oh no, we can do no wrong. We're the press. Okay, you can do wrong. You toppled whole governments. You can do wrong. Because America has a great track record of knocking down democracies and installing dictatorships. So, listeners, I know you normally get the funny out of us, and that's why you probably tune in. At least I hope, or maybe it's our good looks, not mine, but maybe it's our good looks. But today, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while because of how important the Constitution is and how important it is to understand that document and what it means to you as a citizen of this country and what it means for law enforcement to preserve and protect that. And even military members, this is what you swore an oath to. I swore that oath. If you notice, all the branches of the military are the exact same oath. It doesn't change branch to branch. It's the exact same oath. Cops, our oath is almost identical across the United States. It is protect the Constitution and the states or the laws of your state. So what are you protecting? That's why I wanted to go over that today. That's what you're protecting. And as a cop, you do not obey illegal orders. You do not violate the Constitution. Know your case laws. Know your state laws. Know your code of criminal procedure, and you'll be okay. Step outside of those because you didn't know and you should have known, and then you're on your own. Mm-hmm. And your agency is not going to back you up on that play. They're like, well, you had a peace officer license. You should have known better. Yep. Now, the law book is this thick. The Texas Code or Texas Criminal Law and Traffic Manual is this damn thick. Yeah. You're not expecting to know every single effing thing in that book. No one can. But you should at least have the familiarity of how to find it if you're not sure. If you don't know, ask. Mm-hmm. Call a prosecutor. Got a question. I'm on the side of the road. Got a question. Yeah. I don't know how many times I would call prosecutors. Hey, I got a quick question. Not 100% sure. Here's what I think. And they'll either go, yeah, you're right, or no, and you're wrong, and here's why, and it's this. Okay, cool. I got my answer. I mean, I like the answer, but I'm not going to take away his rights now and violate his rights and take his freedom for bad information. Yeah. I'm sure it makes him happy, yeah. And I'm not the one who's going to get sued or possibly filed or charged with official oppression by the FBI. So I think it's important that y'all know this. I know this is probably boring. Some of you probably 3 minutes into this said, fuck this. I want the funny. That's fine. Go find the funny. For our loyal listeners, thank you for sticking with us today. We do appreciate that. More to come, but this is episode 50. So, Jordan, we're pretty proud of ourselves. 50, God, it was a hard road to hoe to get here, too. If people only knew what it takes to start this crap. Yeah, no, for sure. This wasn't free 50, I'll tell you that. So, brothers and sisters out there, please be safe. Watch your backs. Ponder on what I said. Really think about what the Constitution should mean to you, and it should to every cop in this country. All million of us now, I think, as the last count, about 1 million cops in the United States. One for every 380 people. One for every probably 400 now. Right. That number may go down here shortly, but we won't talk about any more about that. But it's vital to you, and citizens that listen to this that just like it because it's funny, or you want to understand cops, or you just think J-Man's good looking, whatever. If you think I'm good looking, cool, drop me a line. But know what it is that protects you. Don't be ignorant of what protects you. Don't be an ass about it, but don't be ignorant either. Yeah. Know what protects you. So, J-Man, you got anything to add?
Nope, that was it.
Well, guys, we appreciate you riding along with us today. Any feedback you want to leave us, our email, runnincode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. And no, I did not misspell running because I can't spell. There is another podcast called Running Code, which is EMS, and Running Code just sounded cooler anyway. So runningcode2023@gmail.com. So from J-Man out here in South Texas, we're out here. Yep.